Hey ladies and gentlemen, Virtual Warrior here. Hope you guys had a awesome weekend. Hope you guys having a super day as well. So if you look at my topic today is 10 tips from stopping you from saying the things that make you weak. Okay. So if you think about, sometimes we say things to make us weak. We might say, well, no, what is that, Burdell? So if you think about it, number one, we need to just stop and think about what you know. What are you investing your time in? What are you disciplining yourself in? Well, think about it. What is your vision for your life? Let's go there. What is your vision for your life? Okay. And if you think about it, what is the vision? So if the first question, what is my vision for my life, right? So then that means to say you would have to have like a journal out, right? A journal, and you start writing. So then number two then will be make a schedule. So what do you want, or how do you want your day to look like? What is that for you, right? What is it that you want? So, as we are in our schedule, we have responsibility, right? And obligation. Responsibility meaning maybe you got to go to work, right? Have to pick up the kids, obligation, we have to pay the bills, we have to, so many things, right? And so we put those on the list, and then sometimes we find ourselves, maybe we don't want to do that because it's like, oh, I just, just go through the day. I don't have to have a list, but you have to have some guidelines, right? Maybe you have appointments, right? You got to put those on a schedule, right? Because those are obligations that you have to fulfill. So you need to put your day on a schedule, right? And then number three would be maybe you need to have a clarity. Sometimes as we are going to sleep, or we laying there or lying there, and we can't think, our mind is just going. It could be that maybe you have something on your mind that maybe you're not very clear, or maybe you're going into a territory that you might not have clarity in. Maybe it's a new job you're starting, and you kind of wonder, well, I'm kind of scared, I'm kind of fearful because I don't know what it is I'm walking into, right? So sometimes within our day, sometimes we have different responsibility and obligation on there, and we might kind of be fearful. Maybe you got to take the child to the doctor, and you don't know what to expect, right? Maybe it's a new doctor, right? Like I said, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a new relationship, maybe it's a new, things happens, right? So new stuff. So then number four, you need to take the meaningful path. So what is the path that you need to take that responsibility, right? Okay. And as we think about it, there's also going to be things on there that we're trying to avoid. What is it that you are trying to avoid? What is it that you are trying to avoid? Sometimes we put stuff on our schedule, and then we kind of take it off because we're trying to avoid that particular area, not realizing that if we take the steps necessary to go through that area, you find that maybe it wasn't so bad after all. Maybe as a business owner, an entrepreneur, maybe it's a step that you need to take, and you realize, well, this is something that I haven't done before, right? And you're kind of fearful, thinking, well, I'm not sure. But until you make that decision to walk through it, even though you are not quite sure, walk through it. And once you walk through it, you will find like you get a breath of fresh air, because you say, oh boy, I was so scared. I was so fearful about doing, whatever it is that's on your schedule. And once you do it, you find yourself, it wasn't that bad after all, right? Because sometimes we find, or we avoid stuff that may be something all the way in the background that you're not even quite sure of. And then you might have someone to come to you and maybe help you and say, hey, maybe let's walk it through together, right? Whatever that is, let's take the step together. And once you find you do that, it's like, oh my goodness, what was I scared of? What was I so fearful? It's just a new adventure, put it like that, a new adventure. So when you look at the things that you are trying to avoid, especially something that's going to take you to the next level, think about it as an adventure, right? That you're going to a new place, right? You're going to meet new people, new excitements. If you think about it like that, it makes it a little bit different, right? And then it says, sometimes within our avoidance, we waste time. So this was coming, it was a YouTube video I was watching from Jordan B. Peterson. And then he also was talking about here, it's like, okay, think about the time that you waste. Look out to the day. Okay, so if someone would ask you, how much hours have you wasted today? Some people will say 4 hours. Some people will say 6 hours. So if you say 4 hours times 5, I mean, that's 20 hours, right? So if you take that 20 hours and divide it by how, I don't know how much you make, but divide it by, times it by how much you make for the day or for the week. I mean, if you look at it, that's a lot of money by the time the year is over, right? So think about that. So think about, we need to be bigger than whatever it is that we're going through. So we need to just stop wasting time. Just stop wasting time. Think about it. Sometimes we waste time watching stuff that we know we shouldn't be watching. Stuff that, I know I go to some of my friends' home, they've got the TV going, but they're not looking at the TV, right? Or they might be having the TV and it's like, what are you watching? I don't know, girl, that stuff just came on. And it's like you find yourself wasting time. So why are you watching that stuff? Why are you watching that stuff? Maybe some people maybe just want to hear the noise. Well, put on some music that's going to uplift you. And then number 4, it says be specific. Be specific in your goals. And once you are specific in your goals, you have like the big goals, right? And then you need to kind of make it micro, go to a micro process. Okay, so from that big goal, you might want to break it down in small chunks, small things that you can know that you will be able to do. And then think about the goals that you set. Some of our goals is to give us motivation to go to the next level, right? To go to the next step. So maybe you might say, okay, if I do this, will give me, I have more friends, a better relationship. You're going to have a reward. It may be going to give you security, like financial freedom. Maybe you want to be able to spend more time with your kids. Maybe dad, you want to spend more time with your kids. Mom, maybe you want to spend more time having your kids at home, and then you'll be able to just say, let's go out, let's go to the park, or let's go in the backyard, whatever that is, right? Wouldn't that be a great thing to just be able to just do that with your kids? And then it says, value your goals, put values on your goals, okay? So say, for instance, you didn't do whatever it is that God has called you to do. What if you don't do it? Okay, what if you don't do it? Then look at the families the family, or maybe your kids, that will be affected by you avoiding whatever that God has called you to do. Think about that. And then number 6, stop saying things that makes you weak. Stop saying things that makes you weak. You know those things, right? And it says sometimes we know things that make us weak, and then sometimes we go and we argue. We always start arguing about things that's not really value. It's not very value, okay? And then we need to know about ideas, the truth. What is the truth about your life? What is the truth? Okay, because everything here that I'm talking about is based on truth. What is the truth that you want in your life? Okay, and by having the truths in our life, there's some things that you have to avoid, right? You have to avoid. And then how can you do that? You just have to have a list of things that you are going to a higher level, right? And then number 7 would be adopt the mode of being an authentic person. Be yourself. Listen, if you watch the TV, you want to be like this star and that star. No. You can only be yourself. So sometimes I find that we as human beings, we try to be somebody else. You cannot be somebody else. You got to be yourself. You got to be the person that God has called you to be, right? So then that means they have to love who you are, right? I'm not saying that maybe there's some things in our lives that we don't like, or maybe some things, character or flaw that we have within ourselves, right? But how can we overcome? Only way you can overcome those things, you would have to go to God and ask Him to take away. So then you would have to surrender whatever areas that that you are lacking, or maybe some other areas that you want to come up higher We have to surrender some things in order to move to the next level, right? So then number 8 will be learn from your errors. We all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. So then we need to learn from them and move on. Learn and move on. And then if you think about it, learning and moving on. Then he asks us the question, are you the friends that's disrupting your plan? Are you the friend that's disrupting your plan? Okay? Are you the one that's stopping you from being all that God calls you to be? But then if you are, why? Why? Could it be that maybe you have listened to the lies that someone had said about you, which is not true? Maybe you heard that voice that whisper sweet nothing in your ear, and you bought into that lie, right? And I've also have some a training program that you would maybe be able to help you. The 9 lies that may be holding you back. You might want to take a look at that. So just think about it. What is it that's holding you back? What is it in your life that if you think about it, you said, well, if I would eliminate this, or if I would surrender this to God, I would be, at a different level. Let's think about that for a minute. And then number 9 would be have a conversation with yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Things that you don't want to do, sometimes we find the things that we don't want to do is the things that we end up doing. And why is that? It's because of sin. It's because of sin. So then you will have to go to God and ask him, what is it that I'm doing that I know? But then most of the time we don't even have to go to him. We know what it is. So our thing is to just go ahead and surrender that thing to him, whatever it is that we know is holding us back, whether it's drinking or on drugs, or maybe overeating, maybe not getting enough sleep. There's a lot of stuff, right? I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's relationship issue. I don't know. So only you know that. So then that would be, have a conversation with yourself. That's number 9. And then number 10 is aim high. Aim high. Aim high. What is the highest possibility that God has for you? What is it? What is it? What is it? So if you look at whatever it is in your life, okay, remember we are here to solve a problem. So what is it that you are here to solve, right? Number 1, you have to start with yourself, right? What is it that may be that's stopping you? Okay, maybe what is it that you're saying that is stopping you, that's making you weak? Sometimes the words that we say make us weak, keep us how would you say, it blocks us from receiving what God has for us because we stopping it. It's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. But then that if you surrender is the best thing for you, right? So just think about it. Aim high. And aiming high, aim high. What is God's purpose? Say, for instance, what is that one thing in your life that, say, for instance, you weren't doing, or if you were doing it and it's something good, how can you do that more in order to impact yourself first, then you impact your family, then you take that into the community, and then you take it into the bigger cities and states. What is that for you? What is that for you? And so if you think about the aim, I have Galatians 5:22-26. Let me get my Bible here. Hold on. So if you look at Galatians 5, let me see here. Galatians 5:22 talks about, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. And 23 says, meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. And they that are Christ has crucified the flesh with the affection and the lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envy one another. But in all things we should give all the praise and glory belongs to whom? to Jesus, right? Jesus Christ. Think about that. It's to him. So whatever our aim is in life, okay, whatever we have on our schedule, make sure that we put him first in our lives. Surrender our lives to him, because if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, he has the best intentions for us, right? He has the best. He knows what is best. But sometimes we think, because we are grown, we knows what's best, but that's not necessary. That's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. And if you want to dive deeper and go a little bit deeper, just visit BirdelWarrior.com. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, have a super awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye for now.